I was given a shotgun and a bulletproof vest for my 12th birthday. I was labelled the devil from the age of like 12. After telling the psychologist, they both came back in the room and told me, you've been groomed. Obviously, originally I was born in Nigeria, not the UK. Obviously, I live in the UK now. And my mum ended up disappearing around the age of 2, where she tried to go through the Libya route and she ended up disappearing. At the age of 7, I was then moved over to the UK with my stepmom, which my father just recently married. Shortly after coming into the UK, my stepmom became physically and also mentally abusive, where at first it probably started with just words of like, your dad doesn't love you, or your dad doesn't want you here. All of these little minor things to play with my head. But it became worse because I kept on just staying and kept on ignoring it. Didn't really take it in till I would say till the physical abuse got worse, where it was first probably hitting me with belts, then later on it was then hitting me with poles, and then before you know it, the day that I chose to run away, she ended up hitting me with her heels, which left me my first ever scar here. My life changed in the summer between, I would say, year 6, which is like your 11, or 10, 11, going into year 7, which you're going from, I would say, primary school into secondary school. It was like I was the outsider. And for me, that's pretty much how I felt my whole life, an outsider, and trying to find where I fit into the world. But there were other kids, local kids in the park, who were a bit older than me. I'd probably say like 4 or 5 years older than me. So they basically asked me to go deliver some stuff for them, which I done. And I thought to myself, making new friends. And I done the first delivery for them, went smooth, everything was okay. Then asked me to go do another delivery. That was okay. Then I'll probably say by the end of that week, I'm now in and out of that park, constantly doing deliveries for them. And they then introduced me to their elders. And when they introduced me to their elders, is a fact of like, their elders are now telling me, can I go away for a week? So the next day, woke up in the morning, got ready, went to the park, got picked up from the park, and I was taken to an area outside of London. I was dropped off at the end. And being dropped off at the end, I was introduced to what is known as a cocoon house, which is a house taken over by an organised crime group. So taken into this house, obviously I was introduced to the addict who lived in the house. So after that, I was then introduced to what is known as plug-in, which is where you put drugs inside the body cavity. So I was introduced to that, where they demonstrated it for me first. So for me, it made it feel okay, because if they are doing it, then it must be normal, it must be all right. It was then introduced as the drugs that I was obviously selling at the time. I never knew it was drugs. So what they introduced, what crack cocaine and heroin was simply light and dark. So for me, it's just colours. I'm giving this person colours, he's coming back with cash. But they said they'll be back in the evening. So I said, okay, no problem. They left. And evening came, called them, no one was answering. The second day came, called them, no one was answering. Third day came, called them, no one was answering. Then, on the third day, I heard a knock on the door and I thought to myself, oh, time to go home, happy days and everything else. So I sent the addict to the door, hoping that obviously he's going to let them in and everything's going to go so smooth and everything's going to be okay. When I stepped literally into the hallway, which leads to the front door, what I then saw was the addict being escorted back by a guy with a bandana on his face. And the guy with the bandana had a shotgun being pointed at the addict. And now the shotgun is now being pointed at me. And the guy escorted me to be sat down on the sofa. And after escorting me to be sat down on the sofa, he started asking loads of questions like, where are they? All of these different things. And then when he's taking off his bandana, I've then realized that that is one of the people who I saw in the family get-togethers. And I was like, oh, I know this person. He's a family friend. The family friend left and then came back that same, probably in the next, like in an hour, came back with a revolver 380, gave me a revolver 380, told me to keep it on me at all times, and I should make sure I look after it, take it home, take it to school, everything else, and told me that if anything happens, just cock back the thing and the slap, and he just press on the trigger. And he told me to do it in front of him, and I done it in front of him. And I said, that's simple. Like literally, it was literally taught like it was like you're building Lego. Like literally, you just cop back and you shoot. So I learned how to shoot a shotgun. I learned how to shoot a Glock 17, and I learned how to shoot all different type of guns. So for me, it was just literally like became my normal type of day. Like literally, my normal day is I have a firearm on me 24/7. I also sometimes might have to go transport a firearm from wherever it is and bring it back to the block. This was my normal thing. They'll tell me every single day, go out there and get clients, get customers for the phone. So I done that. Done that every single day, got customers. Now I start having missing episodes where I'm hardly in school. After I started getting phone calls from them is a fact of they were telling me if I don't get them back their drugs and their money back, they're going to kill my mom and her son, which was my foster carer and her son. So I'm like, well, what do I do now? How do I deal with it? I disclosed in a looked after child review meeting which a looked after child review meeting is where all the parties dealing with that child's well-being and safety is present. So that's school, police, whoever it is, social workers, they're all there. So in that case, I disclosed that obviously currently my life is in danger. And I remember them just looking at me, telling me this can't be happening. You're only like how 11. Now, how can this be happening to an 11-year-old? It must not be true. You must be fantasizing. All of these things were said to me. And leaving that meeting, I also took it like they weren't going to help me. When it comes to forced criminality, the system is told to uphold, especially when it comes, let's just use the police as an example. The police is told to uphold the law. Yeah? Then you have someone who is a victim but is breaking the law. So for them, they're very much focused on dealing with them breaking the law, but forget to understand the underlayer of that this person might be a victim too. And for me as a child, it was very much like I was labeled a devil from the age of like 12. They looked at me as the problem because at the end of the day, they couldn't see the puppet, the master pulling the strings behind. All they could see was that this young person is actively involved in serious violence. So that's how they dealt with me. They dealt with me as a problem to the public, but not understanding that at that moment of time, I didn't even understand what I was going through. I didn't understand what was going on. I just thought to myself, this was my normal. This is what it is to survive every single day. But then slowly you start embracing it. Like you start taking on the labels that people give you. My exploiters became the only people I could trust. Come live a day in my life and tell me you wouldn't carry a weapon. Come live a day in my life and let's see if you would choose to leave your house without a weapon. If you want to make a change, you just got to be in there. You just got to get in there, and it has to come from the top. But for me, that paper basically educates all professionals. We're talking all the way from the NHS, all the way to the courts, all the way to police on how to engage with young people and adults who are being forced into forced criminality. I wanted to make a change, but I've also understood that in my generation, in my time, I might not be able to make the change that I want to see, but I'm able to start that change. I'm able to start that revolution with young people, encourage young people to be able to make that change slowly and slowly and slowly. And hopefully it will get done later on. But at least someone needs to start it. That's one thing I always believe in. Someone needs to start it. Someone needs to tell everyone that, you know what, it's not okay. It's not all right. A lot of times it's like everyone wants to be the savior. By the end of the day, sometimes your service might not be equipped to deal with that person at this moment of time, and it's making sure that person has all their needs met. Everything being met at that moment of time. And that could literally just having a listening ear. And if you're not able to be that listening ear because of how short it is, then just be transparent on what you can do and what you can't do. Just be honest. Literally, it's not a quick fix. It's never going to be a quick fix. So it's understanding that this is not a quick fix battle. I remember I used to black out. And this was how I was able to survive growing up, is learning how to disassociate from my body, where I'm not there when all the stuff is happening. And then when I come back to it, I remember a lot of times people used to be like to me, oh, like, you know, boy, you're savage. You done this, you done that, you done this. But pretty much I didn't remember none of it. I didn't remember none of it. And then it's like you then use substance like weed and that to then try to drown everything everyone has told you. So coming out of it, it was a fact of trying to now actually be one with my body. That's something I had to learn how to do, was be one with my body. That's why I really advocate for trauma-informed work, because it's like you can't expect a survivor who's been exploited for how many years to all of a sudden now become like the perfect citizen. I remember my immigration solicitor sitting down telling me, if you want to see change in the world, you have to become that change. You can't go back. There's no way you can go back, because if you go back, you are not making a change. In fact, you are carrying it on. And I refused to carry that torch. So instead, I had to go find a new torch to carry. And for me, it was like, once I was given an opportunity to find a new torch to carry, for me, I took it with both hands and I carried it. I carried it loud and proud. Although even for me right now, I'll probably say I'm more in danger now than ever, is a fact where I rather die for something that I believe in than die for someone else's dream. We come from the ghetto, we come from the hood, but it doesn't mean that the only thing we can be is drug dealers, rappers, or literally athletes. We can also be other things too. That's why I'm a public speaker. That's why I spread awareness about everything I do. That's why I wrote that paper too. Because for me, it's to show all the next generation and anyone looking at me that at the end of the day, anything in this world is achievable and the sky is the limit. Don't let your bad start define who you become. These rooms are waiting for you when you're ready to make these changes. We need an army. We can't make these changes by ourselves. We need an army of survivors to be able to make this challenge the system. And that's why for me is encouraging the young people to be part of that army, to make that changes. I would tell the 11-year-old self to keep on going. Because for me, I would never change anything in my life. Because the person that I've become is something I am proud of. I'm proud of who I've become. I'm proud of my experiences. I'm proud of everything I've endured and gone through. And I'll just tell the 11-year-old version of me, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep on going. You got this. You will survive.